Hello students, welcome to the discussion of Akash mock test paper, and the paper we are discussing is Physics JEE Advanced paper 2. So let's begin our discussion. And we have the first question here. It says two particles of masses m, 2m and charges plus q and minus 2q respectively are released from rest in a uniform electric field E. If their separation remains unchanged and is equal to, well, the expression is given here, find the value of n, and we have to neglect the gravitational force. So let's start our solution. And we see that the forces acting on the particle are forced by the external electric field E and also the electrostatic force of interaction between the two charges. Now, to satisfy the condition of the problem that the separation remains unchanged, that means the two particles must have the same acceleration. That is a key point in the solution of the question. So let's begin our solutions now, and let's show the particles, the arrangement, the configuration. So let's say that we have a particle of mass 2m, charge minus 2q here. The other particle is here, its mass is m and its charge is q. Let's assume that the electric field is directed towards right. The separation between the particles is d, and we have to find an expression for d which will give us the answer to the question, the value of n that we are supposed to find. What are the forces acting on the particle of mass 2m? Well, because of the electric field, the force is towards left because charge is negative, and that force has magnitude E into 2q. At the same time, the other particle is going to attract it towards itself. So the other force is k, its magnitude is going to be k into 2q divided by d square, where d is the separation between the particles, k being 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Now, looking at the other particle, the force due to external field E is going to be E into q towards right, and the electrostatic force of attraction by the other particle, that has magnitude k into 2q square divided by d square. Well, the force here also is 2q square. So one square was missing. I hope the situation is absolutely clear to you. Both have to have the same acceleration. So acceleration for the first particle is a, let's say towards right, and for the second particle also it is a towards right. Now let's apply Newton's second law for the two particles, and if we do that for the first particle, that means for particle of mass 2m, the equation is k into 2q square divided by d square minus E into 2q is equal to its mass into acceleration, and that means 2m into a. So this is the first equation we have. Now looking at the second particle of mass m, the equation will be, well, the force towards right is Eq, so Eq minus k into 2q square divided by d square is equal to its mass into acceleration. So these are the two equations which will give us the solution, that will give us the expression for d, and when we solve, we find that the value of d turns out as equal to square root of 3q divided by 8 pi epsilon naught E. So the question is done already. The value of n turns out is equal to 8. So we can finish the discussion of this question with this statement that the value of n which is asked in the question is 8. It's time now to go to question number 2. And the question number 2 says, well, 1 mole of an ideal monoatomic gas is filled between two identical pistons A and B, each of mass small m, which can slide without friction. The cylinder and pistons are heat insulator. If piston A is given an initial velocity V naught as shown in the figure, then maximum temperature change is given by delta Tm is mv naught square by xr, where r is universal gas constant. Find the value of x. So, interesting one, and let's begin our discussion. And well, what are the main concepts here? The maximum change in temperature of the gas will be observed when there is maximum loss in the kinetic energy of the system of the two pistons. Okay, that's a very important point. Also, the linear momentum is going to be conserved because there is no external force. If we consider that, the system consists of the gas and the two pistons, the mass of gas we can neglect here. So, if that is the case, then applying conservation of linear momentum, we can say that mv naught is equal to, at the moment of maximum compression, at the moment of maximum loss in kinetic energy, both pistons are going to have same velocity, and if that velocity is v, then that is equal to 2m into v. I hope this step is clear to you, and that gives us v is equal to v naught divided by 2. Now, we come to the question of the maximum loss in the kinetic energy. The maximum loss in the kinetic energy is half m v naught square, which is the initial kinetic energy of the system, and at the time of maximum compression of the gas, the kinetic energy becomes 2 times half m into v naught by 2 the whole square, because both pistons have same velocity at that moment. And this maximum loss in kinetic energy is to be equated with the change in internal energy of the gas at that moment. So, the expression for the change in internal energy is number of moles is 1 and it is a monatomic gas. So, Cv is 3R by 2 and delta Tm. So, solving this equation will give us expression for delta Tm, and we find on solving delta Tm turns out as it is equal to mv naught square divided by 6r, and that means the value of x that we are supposed to find is already found out. X turns out to be equal to 6. I hope the solutions are clear. It is time now to go and discuss the next question. Well, we are into question 3 now, and it says a particle of mass m moves under a conservative field such that its potential energy is given as u equal to, well, this is the expression for the potential energy u. The particle executes SHM about a stable equilibrium position. The angular frequency expression is given to us, it is omega equal to lambda square root of k by m, and we are supposed to find the value of lambda, and this is the expression of the potential energy of the particle as a function of x. Let us begin our solution, and first of all we look at the conditions given. We see that u is not a very simple expression. So, there will be many positions of equilibrium, but naturally the oscillation will happen about the stable equilibrium position. So, we have to find the stable equilibrium position and then see the equation of the SHM that we can possibly have. Now, if u is given to us, we know the force acting is minus du by dx. So, force F is minus du by dx. So, we need to differentiate this and put a minus sign also. Well, what do we get in that case? Minus and minus, that becomes plus, and the derivative we can apply the product rule. So, derivative of the first function, that means it is 2 into x minus 1 multiplied by the second function, which is x minus 4 the whole square, plus the first function, which is x minus 1 the whole square, into derivative of the second function, which is 2 into x minus 4. So, this is the expression of the force which is acting on the particle, and for equilibrium this force must be 0. Well, let's use that, and before that we can take some factors outside. So students, as the force is 0 for equilibrium position, we can say that K into 2, and then we can take x minus 1 and x minus 4 as the common factors, and then within bracket we have x minus 4 plus x minus 1, and this is 0. And if this is 0, there are 3 solutions in fact that we are getting. The solutions are x equal to 1, x equal to 4 and 2x equal to 5. So we need to check which of these represents a stable equilibrium position, and for that we need to check d2u by dx square at all these points. That means at x equal to 1, at x equal to 4 and at x equal to 5 by 2. When we do that, we find d2u by dx square at x equal to 5 by 2 turns out as positive, whereas d2u by dx square at other values of x, that means at x equal to 1 and at x equal to 4, turns out is equal to 0. So that shows that x equal to 5 by 2 is the position of stable equilibrium, because the potential energy there has a minima. Okay? I hope that point is clear to you. So students, oscillation is happening about x equal to 5 by 2. So what we do now is we represent x minus 5 by 2 by some variable, let's call it y rather, alright. And so the expression for force F is now what in terms of y? Well, let's check it again. This was the expression for force. So this is 2k, and if I put x minus 5 by 2 as y, we can put x as y plus 5 by 2 and we substitute that there. So for x I put it's y plus 5 by 2 and then there is minus 1. Then for the second term it becomes y plus 5 by 2 minus 4, and finally the third term will be simply 2x minus 5, and that is going to become 2y. So then we have 2y also here. So let's put it as 2y. This is the expression for the force, okay, the restoring force. Now we can equate, because F is equal to ma, A is d2x by dt square and A is also d2y by dt square. So that point is very important. So m into d2y by dt square we are getting as, you know, this entire thing. Now a very important point, another important point I would say, we have to consider that displacement from the mean position is small, okay. So y is very, very small, and compared to these constants y can be neglected. That's a very important. So here in this term we neglect y, here also we neglect y. Reason? Y must be very small compared to these quantities that we are getting within the bracket. So that makes the expression as m d2y by dt square is equal to 2k, and this is then 5 by 2 minus 1, which becomes 3 by 2, and here also if we put y equal to 0, then I get 5 minus 8 by 2, or that means it is minus 5 minus 8 by 2. So that is becoming minus 3 by 2, okay, and then there of course is 2y. See, now we have the expression for the required SHM that we were interested in. Well, in the next step we can just simplify this, and this then comes out as what? 2 into 2, 4, and there is 4 in the denominator too. This is minus 9ky. So m d2y by dt square is equal to minus 9ky, which means the angular frequency omega is equal to square root of 9k divided by m, or it is equal to 3 root k divided by m. And which means the question is solved. The value of lambda which we were supposed to find is 3, and let us put it here. The value of lambda we are getting as equal to 3. The question is solved, and I hope all the steps are clear to you. Let us now go to the next question.